All right, welcome back to another week of Doc Talks. We have the one, the only,
most ripped coach at Elevate.
most ripped, red-bearded coach,
It's debatable these days.
Coach Francis. Go give us an introduction of yourself. What's your position here at Elevate, and give us a couple of things about you.
Strength and conditioning coach here at Elevate Sports Performance and Healthcare. I operate primarily out of our Sunset location. I'm also our member experience director, so a lot of our team information that you guys may see, our social, that type of stuff. While it's not all me by any means, we have help from the entire team, but that all kind of runs through me. I work with both these gentlemen a lot. I'm lucky to learn from them. We share some of our team members in the sense that they are actively working with both of us, which is a lot of fun. We get to collaborate on programming and really help people be at their best.
Cool.
And you are the foremost expert on the topic that we are going to be talking about today.
Yeah.
Yes, most importantly,
Which
I
is-
have the credibility.
You've lived it.
I am a parent. I have a 5-year-old daughter who just started going into in-person kindergarten. Thank
I didn't know
thank
that.
heavens. Yes,
That's
this is
exciting.
first
Clark
week.
County, thank you
Yeah.
so much.
It's hybrid, so it's 2 days, but she loved it. She was very happy to be with friends. She's an only child.
Is that the first time that she went to school? Like
Yeah,
preschool?
she did pre-K last year a little bit,
Okay.
but then she's been doing everything virtual, which I don't know how my wife has done it, but she's maintained a full-time job while also adding assistant kindergarten teacher to her roles. And not only that, but she is 6 months pregnant. So this timing is perfect because things are much different with a 5-year-old than they are with an infant, newborn, and even a toddler. So I am jogging my memory to prepare for the reality that is about to hit me.
It's coming.
Yes.
So we have our topic. It is a lot. It's what was the actual topic?
Basically, how you maintain
how
fitness
to
while
maintain
you're
fitness.
while you're becoming a new parent.
Yeah.
Balancing fitness and
being
your
a
new
parent.
family responsibilities.
Yeah. So I mean, this is huge for a lot of people that they either blame time or schedule or the lack of those, and we can definitely hopefully negate some of those thought processes or try to change the context on how we're thinking about fitness and trying to get those things in during stressful times or during times where we have to be the parent at that time. We want to make sure that we're scheduling around those things. We understand what we term as a success in fitness. We'll go through a lot of that stuff today.
And a lot of what we're going to talk about today can really be applied to any stressful time period in your life. We opened up the second facility at the beginning of this year. So at the end of last year, our whole team was spread a little thin with extra work. So it's not exactly the same, but a lot of these concepts can roll over into really any stressful, any part of your life where your time, your free time becomes greatly reduced.
Cool. All right, so first topic. We want to treat this time of being a parent as like a training block, or being a new parent as a training block. What does that mean to the parents out there? What does a training block mean to a person? Maybe educate them on what your focus is there.
So hopefully your fitness, your training, strength training, conditioning, sport performance, whatever your discipline may be, hopefully it's got some sort of periodization to it. You're not just doing random things at random times, but there's a plan of how to get from A to B to C to D. And that should progress. It shouldn't, you also shouldn't be doing the same thing over and over and over. You shouldn't be adding too much variety. That is basically the construct of a training block. Typically 4 to 6 weeks where you're gonna, focus on some specific goals that help your broader, bigger picture goal. But for those 4 to 6 weeks, you're attacking maybe a sub goal that's going to help paint the bigger picture in a very specific way.
So a common example might be, you're leaning out for summertime because everybody wants to look good on the beach,
Of course.
and then you put on that winter bulk so you can prepare for the winter. That would be like an example of how there's certain qualities you might focus on. I mean, unless you're eating your face off because of the holidays, but you're focusing on certain things to help you hit that goal at a certain point in time, and then you're shifting that in another. And then parenting is no different than that. Like, now the goal is
Yes,
being a great parent.
look, especially when it's your baby's a newborn, they are the priority. Mothers, they obviously intrinsically know this. They do this better than anyone else. We deal with it a lot, where a lot of our members here who are mothers don't make as much time for themselves because they're so dedicated to their family. Fathers, I hope you know this. If new fathers, if you take one thing out of this, take out that mommy and baby are going to be the priority. So don't whine, don't complain, call up your buddies. That's who you can whine to. Don't whine to mommy. And accept that and recognize that this is exciting. It's going to be fun. It goes by so quick. I know it definitely feels tough when you're in the moment, but again, we just dropped our daughter off for first day of kindergarten, and we were, 5 years flew by. So, come to terms with that, accept it, make the best of it, and prepare for it by periodizing and adjusting your goals and your plan.
So, I mean, during the 9 months prior, obviously, we talked about this a little bit before, making sure that you're almost preparing for how long? How long would you say that it would, I guess probably going to be different for everyone.
Of course.
But this block that we're talking about, if we're preparing for, a 4 to 6 week block until maybe we get a little bit more regular schedule, is that realistic, do you think? Do you think that's...
Yeah, the first 2 weeks are going to be really, really tough. You get hit by a ton of bricks. Sleeping is tough. The quality of it goes way down. The quantity of it goes way down. You're just constantly being interrupted. You're not living on your schedule. You're living on the baby's schedule. Then, again, it's different for everybody, but things start to get easier. The baby starts to sleep more and more. You don't have to feed as frequently. So that, your schedule, your family schedule will start to stabilize. You'll get a better idea of when you're needed, so to speak, and you can start putting more things in play from there.
Yeah. I guess, it kind of makes me think about like a prehab. Like if you're going into for surgery. Surgery is
Yep.
going to take 3 to 5 months of rehab, whatever it is, if it's a big surgery. A lot of times people will get the directive to say, hey, you need to do what's called prehab. So you're leading up to your surgery, or you're preparing, you're trying to strengthen everything you possibly can, trying to use your body in as much good stresses as you can put on it during that time, because there's going to be a decent amount of time where that's really not possible. Like you're just not going to be able to push yourself to the same aspect. So maybe that's something, if you've gone through a significant injury and you've been out, think of this as a time where you're prepping to not be able to push it as hard all the time, or to devote as much time to training as you can. So you need to prep going into that.
Yeah, absolutely, and you can build up some kind of capital in the fitness bank, so to speak, by ramping up your training right now, especially if you're a few months out. Plan for that. Plan for a down block, but earn it if you can. But on the other side of things with recovery, sleep and nutrition, be disciplined with those right now. One of my favorite sayings, discipline equals freedom. Man, when you have kids, you're going to find out how true that is, because if you're not disciplined with yourself, chances are you're not going to get in what you want to get in a day. If you are supposed to get up and do a morning workout and you decide to sleep in, there's a good chance there's not much room in the day to make that up. So, start taking that approach right now with anything you can, really.
And I would say too, like, even if you're not getting the normal 7-8 hours of sleep that you would do, anything you do to maximize the quality that you would have in the fragmented sleep is good. So, and I don't know if you ever did like blue light blocking or just keeping the lights dim at night,
Yep.
or even just getting morning sunshine, like little tweaks like that. And when we did a doc talks a while back about that, I've recommended that to new parents,
Yeah,
and
we
that
got-
is quite
We got our
effective.
TV out of our bedroom years
Nice.
ago, stuff like that. It can be tough, especially, mothers, we're talking about trying to prepare for this, and we know, this starts happening for you 9 months out. So, again, take everything we say today somewhat with a grain of salt, and know that you can't really paint broad strokes in these situations. And on the other side of it, fathers, be careful. Don't necessarily wake up in the morning and go, man, that was a great night of sleep. And you look over and, your significant other was tossing and turning all night and trying to get comfortable. So be sympathetic there.
Yeah, makes sense.
All right. So we talked about these blocks being like a little bit temporary, having the foresight to know that freedom of your schedule and time is going to come back, but you want to prep for those times that it's not. Then let's talk about like our mental health during this time. What are some guidelines? What are things that you've tried to suggest for people that are going through this, or what's something that you've used?
Well, you two know probably better than anyone else on our team, just with your disciplines, that the body sees stress as stress. You can't necessarily decipher that, you just did a workout and you just taxed your body, but things are going to be okay. It's got a bucket for stress, and whether that's mental or physical, imagined or real stress, that bucket gets full. So my advice is do things that you like to do. Take this time to treat your training or have a goal with your training that when that workout ends, you're going to feel better mentally and physically. So if there's things that severely stress you out mentally, right now is probably not the time to do that. You have enough of that going on in your life. Your body as well, maybe you don't have as much movement as you do in the day, or, it's different. You're going to be carrying a baby. Your posture adjusts a lot. So do things that are going to help open up your body, decompress it, expand it. We take a lot of pride in pairing those with our strength training and our kind of mobility training. It doesn't have to be one or the other. So I highly recommend taking that approach. If you have some time to train today, and it's you want to bench press, I highly recommend doing it with dumbbells and doing alternating, where you leave one high and you lower the other, because you're gonna get some rotation in your upper back, and that's gonna open up your traps and your neck and things that can get very tight when you're sitting a lot, holding the baby, or just stressed out in general.
That's good. I mean, those are little things that you wouldn't even think of as stress relievers. So just choosing a different exercise as opposed to whatever's scheduled. You want to look at what's scheduled and try to maintain what you should do. But at the same time, you gotta listen to yourself and see if that's really truly how much you can push that day, or how hard you can push that day.
Yeah, and it might just mean getting outside for 20-30 minutes of sun.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that's relaxing, reading, meditating, taking a little nap, going for a walk. Maybe it's a little bit more intense, but just again, listen to your body and do what you can. But know that not every day is going to be an A+ training day.
Yeah. Especially when you have to cater to the demands that the baby's putting on you.
Absolutely.
It might be a day you feel like A+, but it might not be for the baby.
Yeah, and you might think you have an hour, and you get 15 minutes in, and there's your baby blows out its diaper, and your significant other needs some help. You just have to be okay with that and know, that's life.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I have a couple of patients that they are in the fitness world. They're influencers, if you will, and they get asked a lot, like, how do you maintain, like, with your travel schedule, with all that kind of stuff? And again, they're pressed for time for a lot of their schedule and throughout the week, and they're like, we make it really simple, like really simple. We always, at least get our 30 minutes of movement in a day, so that we don't start filling one bucket more than the other, and completely avoiding the fitness bucket. If you fill it up halfway even, and you keep on filling it halfway, then you don't see this drastic decline. Like,
Sure.
I mean, not something that's just like all the way down to zero for a couple of weeks. That's how you can really lose fitness really, really fast, and then you have to go from all the way from zero back up instead of going from 50% back up. So those times that you're allowed to do 30 minutes of, like you said, go out for a walk, do a 30-minute just body weight exercise, or something that's going to have a little bit of exertion. It fills up that bucket just a little bit. So the same thing goes for even not just a parent, someone that has a schedule that they're maxed out during certain seasons, maybe taxes, or they have a busy season for construction or something like that. Those things are all real stresses and real things that you have to overcome, but at the same time, the amount that you need of time to fill up a bucket a little bit isn't massive. It shouldn't be something that you feel like, holy smokes, I have to go to the gym for 2 hours a day to maintain. Like, that's not real. That's not realistic.
I think that's hitting the nail on the head. And you can have a plan, and my suggestion is to create a plan, but have that plan be flexible. If you don't have equipment at home, have a couple bodyweight workouts in your back pocket. For those days that you don't have the drive time or whatever it may be. Even on the days that you can get to some equipment, I would suggest that you draw up different options. And I do this right now, just with how busy life can get now. I don't necessarily have the 60 minutes I would like every day. So my workouts kind of have some audibles built in. For warm-up, my non-negotiables are my breathing resets, typically 2, maybe 3. Takes a couple minutes, and again, I get up feeling great. If I have a little bit more time, I'll add some dynamic movements into that. And then same thing with my strength training. I have my primary list for the day, a superset, and I'll bang those out. And then if I'm feeling good and I still have time, then I have some accessory work to do after that. But my goal is to at least get the breathing resets in, at least get those primary lifts in, and then I can go from there.
Yeah.
And honestly, then I could do the accessory work later in the day too. If I have 15 minutes later in the day, I can kind of bang that out then.
Yeah, most of the adaptations you get training-wise are in the beginning anyways, and everything else is gravy. So I think it's cool that you break it up that way, and especially if you got equipment at home, you don't have to get it all done at one point in time.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting to say that. So when you say it's in the beginning of training, are you saying time-wise, or are you saying the first things that you do?
First things you do. Just
Yeah.
because when
Focus
fatigue sets
wise?
in,
Yeah.
well,
Okay.
focus, but then
Yeah.
you also have fatigue.
Yeah.
And and you know this, if let's say you're doing front squats and you're going heavy, well, that's not just taxing to your legs, but it's taxing to your spine, it's taxing to your central nervous system,
Yeah.
and so then force production dips down. That's why we usually pick faster things to do first or heavier things to do earlier in the program, is because if you do that later on, you just can't produce as much force.
That makes sense.
And then as you progress through your workout, the things you do are just reinforcing
Yep.
those movement patterns and stuff like that.
Or getting them huge biceps.
Or those.
Which is
Could be
essential.
considered primary work.
All depends on your goal.
Exactly.
All right, cool. So activity throughout the day. What's something that if you were to give suggestions for people how to increase their activity throughout the day, if you wanted to hit, say, that 30 minutes of exertion, how could they fit some of that stuff in throughout their day?
If they don't have that 30-minute block
If
at
they don't
once,
have one 30-minute block and they just want to, like, hey, look, I'm 8 hours at the office, come home, I'm with the kids the rest of the night.
Yeah. So
What
I
do you got?
use a free Google Calendar. Comes with my free Gmail account. And my day is blocked out in there. And there's a lot of things in there that they're in there, but I know that's flexible. It's not necessarily priorities. I use color coding for that stuff, and I'll shift things around. So, you know, you can utilize a schedule like that. Again, be flexible. Don't be rigid. Understand things take longer than you think they are. Don't be upset if you go out to grab some baby formula or diapers or something, and there's a long line to check out, or a car accident and it takes 30 minutes and you only wanted it to take 15. Be flexible and all that. Use technology here, timers on your phone, whether it can just be to get up and walk and move around. If you know you can get kind of sucked into a time hole at your computer or doing work. The other thing is incorporate your family as much as you can, whether it's just a nice evening walk, especially if one parent's home with the kid or kids. Make that a priority when the other parent gets home. Maybe start your evening, the rest of your day together by taking a nice little walk. Kind of brings the family together.
Double whammy.
Yeah, you can hear about each other's day and stuff like that, and hopefully that again helps de-stress mentally. So whether you're stressed at work or stressed from being home, you can kind of decompress for a little bit and then have an enjoyable evening with the family.
Nice.
Like it.
And and then again you can ramp that up. They obviously make strollers that you can run with. You can take your baby on a hike. All sorts of stuff like that.
That's not block one though, right? That's not first block.
Yeah, that's probably not infants. You're
Okay.
right. You're right.
Okay,
But-
just making sure.
Yeah.
We don't want to give the
don't
suggestion of
yeah.
go and run with baby
So-
week one. Yeah, 2 weeks into it. Let's.
No, but that's just kind of a mentality as you do progress. Is
Okay.
don't necessarily hide your fitness from your family, and that's a great thing for your kids just to see and acknowledge that.
I like that.
Mom and dad make this a priority. I need to as well.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, if there's anything that our nation needs is more of that, like
Yes.
having a priority and a set priority of not compromising fitness and health. We are so unhealthy in our nation. It's crazy. I think we're getting close to 1 in 2 people being actually obese.
Well, I think this current generation has a predicted shorter life expectancy
Yeah,
than
first
the
time.
first time, previous generation. So,
Yeah,
You know.
that's sad. That's really sad. And I think a lot of it has to do with, prioritizing being more busy on your schedule,
Mhm.
accomplishing more in a work setting or, the grind setting. And we need to go back to the pillars of, relationships and fitness and health and those things a little bit more. We got a little bit higher priority on those.
yeah. I mean, and you know this, but your kids are going to mimic
Yes.
just about everything you do. So if you're not making yourself a priority, making yourself the best parent that you can be, and fitness is a part of that, that's going to trickle down in some way, I
Yeah.
would assume.
And you can also take a note from your kids and don't have to have so much structure versus just being active and going out and have fun with them and playing with them. Chasing them around the park, that type of stuff, rather than, kids don't want to, sit there and do 3 sets of 10. They just want to go and be active and have fun. So virtual gym teachers, I'm talking to you. If you have a kindergarten gym class, don't make it a workout. That's what we're dealing with right now, trying to gamify some things and make it more fun.
Calling them out.
Yeah.
And
My
That's
wife
fun.
is sick of that rant, but
They won't do like push-ups or
Oh.
sit-ups or lunges or anything like
I
that.
mean, even if you do it in Simon Says, you're going to be a little bit more successful than just telling the kids to do 3 sets of planking, push-ups, and bicycle crunches together.
Yeah,
These
that's
5-year-olds.
You heard it. You heard it.
Whew.
So, all right, guys. Well, look. I mean, Francis is again. He's our resident expert on this. And if you guys have any questions on how to create a program, how to make fitness a maintained, or you can kind of build upon during parenting, this is the guy to talk to. He's going to be able to step you through that with real experience. So reach out to us if you need any of those answers. I have a dog, and that's not a kid, but That's my experience. So I don't have as much in that form. So
All I have is a RoboVac, so that's as close as it gets to me.
So we don't have the experience. That's why we brought in an expert today, and he's going to be able to speak real time on that stuff. So again, if you guys have any questions on that, reach out to us. We'll get you the answers that you need, or at least the guidance, or someone to shoot some suggestions and some thoughts, your way. So again, reach out if you need those answers.
And Francis can do a free discovery session. Chat with
Yes.
him 30 minutes just to see what your situation is, because he can definitely help you with that. Give us a call, 702-558-2151.
Didn't even need
My
to-
guy
Wow.
will talk to you.
Absolutely, and
It's all right
we have a
here.
remote training program. So whether you're not in Las Vegas or you are, but making it to one of our facilities is not realistic for you, we can set up a training program for you to follow along with at home. It's great. Every exercise has videos, and there's accountability. Your coach gets a notice when you do or do not do a scheduled workout.
Yeah.
So again, if that's something that you're interested in, just let us know.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. Go kick some butt in your fitness routines and keep on going, because it's one block if you have the kiddo for a little bit, and then you'll get through that and be back to kicking butt in your fitness routines.
Absolutely.
We'll see you guys next week.